morning dear students, this is your Sudha ma'am. Welcome to the part 1 of lessons 10, that is nutrition in plants. What is nutrition? The process of obtaining and utilizing food is called nutrition. That means the processes involved in how the living organisms get their food and utilize the food to get energy. Plants prepare their own food and they are able to feed the other organisms also. They prepare their own food, they utilize it, and at the same time they are able to feed the other organisms also. All the animals, including human beings, directly or indirectly depend on plants for their food. So, in this lesson, we are going to study about different modes of nutrition in plants under the subheadings like history of nutrition, photosynthesis, roots absorb water, structure of stomata, starch test, and other modes of nutrition in plants. And let's enter our topic today. Today we are learning about history and photosynthesis, the raw materials required for photosynthesis, and roots absorb the water and structure of stomata. Let's enter into our topic. About 2000 years ago, the Greek philosopher Aristotle said that plants could everything from what they took from the soil. That means plants producing so many varieties of fruits, flowers, fiber, wood, so many things. And this is because of the materials they are taking from the soil. But later it was proved wrong by the scientist called von Helmont. In the year 1648, a Belgian scientist, John Baptist von Helmont, conducted an experiment that continued for 5 years. He made an experiment for 5 years span of time. He took a small willow tree and planted it in a large part of soil. The tree you can see in the figure. So, such type of tree, willow tree he has taken. It's a plant that time. He has taken and he planted it in a big pot. And before planting, he carefully measured the mass of the dry soil and the mass of the tree separately. So, he weighed and found the mass of the dry soil and mass of the tree also separately. He covered the soil, after planting, he covered the soil with a lid so that nothing could fall on it on the surface of the soil and add mass to it. That means if we leave like that, maybe the dry leaves or anything else fall on the soil and it may increases its mass. So that is why he covered the soil with a lid or like polythene like that. But he made some holes for that so that the tree could grow out of the soil and at the same time air and water can enter into the soil freely. And he left the tree for 5 years like that and giving it only the rainwater. Only he supplied the plant with only the rainwater for 5 years of time. At the end of 5 years, he measured the mass of the tree and the mass of the dry soil for a second time. Then he measured once again the mass of the tree and mass of the dry soil. That means he has taken out the plant and he weighed it. And to his surprise, there is a huge increase in mass of the tree. In the beginning it is 2.27 kgs, but after 5 years it was 76.74 kgs. That means a huge increase of 74.47 kgs. And he weighed the mass also, mass of the dry soil. It is at the starting point it is 90 kgs, 90.72 kgs. After 5 years it is 90.66, a little decrease, that is 0.06 kgs of decrease. So from that he concluded that the substances needed for the growth of the plant do not come from soil only, it is also from the water. So actually Aristotle said the plant is getting all the things from the soil, but he proved that not only from the soil and from water also. Later, another scientist, Stephen Hales, described the leaves as the organs of transpiration. What is transpiration? Loss of excess water from the plant body. Plants always absorb the water from the soil. So the excess water comes out from the leaf, from the pores of the leaf, in the form of water vapor. We cannot able to see them, those vapors clearly, but the water, excess water comes out from the leaf in the form of water vapor. That process is called transpiration. Plants exchange the gases with their surrounding air. Not only that, children, he said that plants exchange. See, in our respiration, we utilize oxygen and we release carbon dioxide. Even plants also, for the respiration purpose, they also utilize oxygen and they release carbon dioxide. But for the process of photosynthesis, that means for preparing food, they utilize carbon dioxide and that time they release oxygen. So they utilize both the gases for respiration as well as for food making, that is photosynthesis. And he also point out the role of light in the plant nutrition. That means he explained about transpiration and he explained about gaseous exchange in plants and how the sunlight is important for photosynthesis. And another scientist, Priestley, he discovered oxygen, children. So another scientist called Priestley, who carried out a sequence of experiments. He conducted so many experiments and he could demonstrate that the animals were doing to the air was being reversed by plants. That means what he said, according to him, if animals were making the air impure, plants were making it pure. That means he said, because animals, we are releasing carbon dioxide into the air by taking oxygen. That means we are making air impure. Whereas the plants are taking that carbon dioxide and they are giving us, in return they are giving us oxygen. They are making the air pure. That was told by the scientist called Priestley. Another scientist, Ingenhousz, tried to repeat Priestley's experiments under different conditions and found that only the green parts of the plants, when exposed to sunlight, could able to make the food. So another scientist, that is Ingenhousz, he said that the green part of the plants only able to do the photosynthesis, that is preparation of food. Now coming to the next topic, that is autotrophs. The green plants are called autotrophs, children. Why? Because they prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. So auto means self, troph means food. That means green plants, they prepare their own food by a process called photosynthesis. Hence plants are called autotrophs. Whereas animals depend on plants for food. Hence animals are called heterotrophs. Hetero means others. As they are depending on others, animals are called heterotrophs. Whereas plants are called autotrophs because they are preparing their own food. Now moving on to the photosynthesis. What are the raw materials required for photosynthesis? There are 4 materials are required, very much required for the process of photosynthesis. Just once you see the figure, what are those 4 materials? One is sunlight and carbon dioxide, water and chlorophyll. Where is chlorophyll is present? The chlorophyll is present in the leaf itself. The green material is called chlorophyll that is present in the leaf itself. In return, it gives food as well as oxygen, children. Then oxygen is coming out. It is taking light from the sun, carbon dioxide from the air and water from the soil. The roots are absorbing water and the chlorophyll is present in the leaf itself. So by utilizing these 4, the plants produce glucose, starch and other food materials. So that process is called photosynthesis. See the equation, carbon dioxide plus water. In the presence of light and chlorophyll, they produce glucose and oxygen. This is the process of photosynthesis which you can learn more in your higher classes. So, 4 raw materials are required for the photosynthesis. And how the plants get water? Plants get water from the soil through the roots. So, from the soil, the roots absorb water and they transfer the water to the stems, and from the stems it goes to the leaves, and the leaves prepare the food because they contain green material called chlorophyll. Let's see one activity, children. Here we are taking 3 glasses of water and we placed 3 different plants. 3 plants of same kind also not a problem, and we are adding 3 different dyes. In one glass of water we added red color, and in one glass of water we added blue and one orange. Different colors we added, and you can take small plant with root or else only the stems, the stem portion of the young plants. After some time, if we observe the stems and the leaves change their color into red, into blue or into orange according to the color what we are added in the water. So, the leaves and stems change to that color. This is due to the absorption of water by roots or stem. If you take stems, the stem also absorb and it changes the colors of the leaves. So this is due to the absorption of water. So by this experiment what we are learning, roots absorb water. So in the same time for photosynthesis also and for the other activities of the plant, roots absorb water and supply to all other parts of the plant. Coming to the air, how plants get their air? Plants get water from the soil, already we learnt, and plants get carbon dioxide from the air, and this is done by the leaves. How they get the carbon dioxide? So the leaves are having a tiny pores throughout their body. The leaves are having a tiny pores, what we call them stomata, S-T-O-M-A-T-A. Like we have also sweat pores on our skin, but we are not able to see them. But if you run or if it is very hot, then we can feel the sweat. The sweat is coming from the sweat pores. Like that, we cannot able to see the stomata, but the plants are having the tiny pores, what we call them stomata. And through these stomata, the gaseous exchange takes place. That means through the pores, if you see the diagram, see one pore is opened and in other diagram the stomata are closed. So whenever the stomata is opened, that time the gaseous exchange, that means oxygen will go inside, carbon dioxide will come, or carbon dioxide goes inside and oxygen comes out. Like that, depending upon the need of the plant, the exchange of gases takes place. So the plant absorb water from soil through the roots, and it takes the carbon dioxide from air through the stomata. And third one is chlorophyll, that is present in the leaf itself. And fourth one is sunlight, that gets from the sun. By utilizing all these four raw materials, plants prepare their own food, and this process is called photosynthesis. Hence plants are called autotrophs. So with this we completed today's session, and let's summarize today's topics once. Today we have learnt about the history of nutrition and the raw materials required for the photosynthesis, roots absorb water, and exchange of air through stomata. That's all for today. Meet you in the next session. Thank you.